All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about BRRRR again today, specifically how to fund your purchase. So we're talking about the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, refinance, rent it out, and repeat. How do you buy it? How do you fund the purchase? So there are different ways in which you can fund your rentals. Obviously, you can start off with the most simple, the most basic, which is cash. So if you've got a pile of cash sitting around, say you've got 50, 80, $100,000, you could throw that all into the purchase of a nice cash flowing rental property, and you could then use that money to rehab the house and then refinance it out, and you're going to get most of your money back. The problem with using cash, or one of the problems with using just straight cash, is that then when you go to refinance it, you're looking at a cash out refinance. So there's no loan on this property, which means banks are going to lend you less money on it. Again, it's kind of odd. Banks prefer not to cash you out completely. They'd rather see some of your cash sitting in there, some equity, some skin in the game. So it's preferable to actually use a loan when you're buying a rental property to use in the BRRRR strategy. That does not necessarily mean it has to be bank money. So cash is the easiest. We're going to move a little bit down the line or up the line in difficulty of acquiring the funds. And again, so the next one up would be private lenders or hard money lenders. And I'm going to group those two, but I'm also going to distinguish those for you. So a hard money lender is basically more of an institutional lender that is going to lend on a hard asset like a rental property. They're not going to look at your credit as much as a bank would. Whereas a private lender is more like going to grandma, grandpa, or someone you met at a real estate event that has money, that likes real estate, that likes you, that wants to lend you money for a decent return, a higher return than they'd be earning before. So that's the next one up that I'm going to suggest, is going to private lending. Again, you're going to pay a little bit more money on that, but it's easier to get than a bank loan. So again, private money be the next one up. I think that's the next best place. That's our favorite place to borrow money. And then again, when you go to refinance it, you're actually looking for more of a rate and term refinance as opposed to a true cash out refinance when the banks look at it. So you're going to be able to get a higher percent of the appraised value refinanced out, put back into your pocket essentially. So you're going to be able to borrow money to buy the house. Then you're going to go to the refinance and you're going to be able to pay off that lender, so you're not actually out of pocket any money. So pretty cool. Next way, we talked about hard money lenders. So hard money lenders, the reason they're called hard money lenders is because they're loaning against a hard asset. It has nothing to do with the fact they're going to come out and break your kneecaps. That doesn't happen. They're loaning on a hard money. It's not hard to get. It's very easy to get. So again, hard money lenders are going to be a little bit more institutionalized though, meaning they're going to have a little bit stricter terms. They're probably going to charge you a little bit more. There's going to be fees on the money. It's going to be a little bit more strict than if you just work direct with a private lender. Next up on the list here, private lending, we can do hard money lending. The next way you could do is do a bank purchase. Do a bank loan to purchase for the BRRRR. Now it seems like a lot of work to go through. You're going to jump through all the hoops of getting qualified, putting the 20% down, as most banks are going to require, 20% at least, and getting that finance set up just to go and refinance it after you rehab the property. But again, that's another way to fund these purchases. If you're a W-2 employee, it's a great way to go. There's no reason not to. Use the less expensive bank money to do that. Third way, or another way rather, you could do this is through a line of credit. So assuming you have some assets, maybe you have a large, a lot of equity rather in a stock portfolio or in some rental real estate already, you can go to a bank and you can ask them to set up a line of credit. Now this takes a lot of legwork up front, but then you've got relatively easy access to the value of those assets. You've got the line of credit available to you that you can go and purchase those properties. Very, very cool. The last one, and this one's a little bit more complicated, would be setting up a private equity fund. And this involves pooling of money. And this one, you really need to know what you're doing. We've got a course on it called Savvy Leverage. You can check that out. Go to savvyleverage.com, and it's going to give you a little bit more info on how to do that properly. And again, that one I would be very careful with. It's not my preferred method. I prefer one-to-one borrowing of money and applying it to a specific asset or a specific property. So that's not my favorite. The last way, again, I said I had the last one. Visit dpipodcast.com/funding, and one of our partners can help you pull some money out of different credit cards at 0% and allows you to purchase properties. So if you don't have access to capital, if you've got a business set up, this is a great way to do that as well. Again, my favorite way to purchase BRRRR properties is to go and find a private investor. It's what we do in our business all the time. We have private lenders that basically close cash for us, and we pay them an interest rate just to borrow that money. So guys, that is how you can fund your purchases. Keep watching the next video for more information on the BRRRR strategy.